With the end of Phase 3 or the Infinity Saga for the MCU at the moment, we come to a time where really anything can happen, and personally, we all expect the X-Men and the Fantastic Four soon, but after what they did with the Guardians of the Galaxy, I'd like to see more lesser known teams show up in the MCU. So today, we're going to name off 10 teams that could be in the MCU here in the near future. So other than that, let's get started. Starting at number 10, I want to say the New Warriors. So the New Warriors were traditionally like young adults, teenagers of that sort, and they were like the younglings to the Avengers, back in the day at least. The best way to compare this is like the X-Men with the New Mutants. The New Mutants are basically new X-Men in training, and that's kind of the way that New Warriors were. They usually consisted of the Thrasher, Darkhawk, Nova, and Speedball, and they're a pretty cool team. I'd like to see them in the MCU, or at least a cameo. Now for number 9, I would say the Champions. So Champions actually relatively new to Marvel Comics. Miles Morales, Ms. Marvel, and Sam Alexander's Nova, they were actually a part of the Avengers, and they end up splitting off to try to reclaim, kind of redefine the classic sense of what a superhero is and what a team should do. Now for number 8, we're going to talk about Excalibur. So Excalibur was a mutant-led team for Marvel, and in 1988, Marvel wanted to expand its brand just from America to Europe. So basically Marvel UK came about, and this is where Excalibur came in, and it's basically a group filled with like some X-Men that we actually knew from the original X-Men team, led by Captain Britain. And honestly, it was pretty cool because they did introduce more X-Men through this series, like Psylocke actually is the sister of Captain Britain. So moving on to number 7, I would say the Ultimates. So the Ultimates was kind of cool. After the Secret Wars, we had Avengers, but then we had a team called the Ultimates, and the Ultimates really consisted of Black Panther, Blue Marvel, who was actually like the original superhero. I can't really remember how his story came about, but he's like apparently a super old superhero they brought back. Spectrum, Miss America, which is also known as America Chavez, and Captain Marvel. Actually, what would happen is they would deal with cosmic threats that would affect Earth or the larger universe itself, and so they were kind of like Avengers with more on Earth basis, while the Ultimates would explore these crazy universal issues. And with how it's going, if we're going to be going more cosmic with the MCU, I think this would be an awesome team to introduce. Now moving on to number 6, I would say the Winter Guard. And this one is kind of just me throwing one out there, especially now for noticing. I'm going to be going into more of a world stage when it comes to superheroes from different countries, different backgrounds, all over. So I think this would be a great time to actually represent the Russian superheroes, the Winter Guard. And if you don't really know who the Winter Guard is essentially Russia's answer for their own Avengers team. And originally they were like a conflicting issue with the Avengers, but as time passed, they kind of made their own seats as superheroes. And kind of a cool fact is they're kind of a rotating cast. So if Marvel really wants to stick onto what they do, they don't have to keep the same cast. They can kind of keep this rotating. It's like, oh, I'm this person number 4. And that makes sense with the Marvel Comics. So that's kind of the cool thing about the Winter Guard on top of that. Alright, so for number 5, I would say it would have to be the Future Foundation. And first off, I love the Future Foundation. So in Jonathan Hickman's run of the Fantastic Four, basically Mr. Fantastic forms a new group of bright young minds that kind of change how we should like look at things and how we study it. And it's pretty cool seeing like all these crazy minds and like these crazy absurd characters. Like we actually had Spider-Man on that thing about now. We had Spider-Man, we had the Leech. He was actually a mutant who he touched someone, he could actually gain their powers or use their powers. And then we had other characters like Valeria Richards and Franklin Richards. So those would be crazy cool, especially if we're going to be getting Fantastic Four here in the near future. So moving on to number 4, and this one's kind of cool. So this is the Multiversal Avengers. And when I say multiversal, I mean multiversal. When it comes to Marvel Comics, they have, before Secret Wars, they had a bunch of crazy, like they had so many universes. So to explore these universes and to kind of see what's going on, because the universe was dying at this point, they sent out like Marvel's Strong Guys, which include like Thor, Starbrand, Hyperion, and a few others. And if we just need Marvel Strong Guys to do this, there are plenty of characters in Marvel Comics that could do this. Now moving on to number 3, I say number 3 would be Marvel Knights. Alright, so the Marvel Knights team was actually never given a name properly. So it went by the series name of Marvel Knights itself. And basically it was consisted of Daredevil, Luke Cage, the Black Widow, Dagger, Moon Knight, and Shang-Chi. And I know that Black Widow is kind of out of the picture at the moment, but with the Netflix series ending, this would be a great way to bring Luke Cage and Daredevil to the MCU, while also bringing in Shang-Chi, who's actually planned to actually have their own movie. So this would be perfect timing to maybe have that going as an offshoot of the Shang-Chi movie. So now we're moving on to number 2. and this is called the Annihilators. So Annihilators were basically, so with the supposed deaths of Nova and Star-Lord, the Guardians disbanded, and also so did the Nova Corps. So it really does kind of like the two big police forces of the cosmic universe, and with that meant anyone could do anything and no one was going to stop them. So in this attempt to kind of remake a new team, it was Quasar, Beta Ray Bill, the Silver Surfer, actually Ronin, believe it or not, and the Gladiator. And like I said before, you know, we can't get this exact lineup, but if we get something like this, especially since we've already have hinted that Beta Ray Bill is in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and the Silver Surfer, especially if we're going to get Fantastic Four. Now for my number one pick, I would say Alpha Flight. Alright, so for my final pick, I would have to say Alpha Flight. And so for Alpha Flight, it's really cool because multiple reasons. One, with Alpha Flight, we do have multiple tiers when it comes to Alpha Flight itself. We have Alpha Flight, Beta Flight, and then Gamma Flight. And it's basically like a tier system, like how deployable they are. And because they're actually under Canada's government. But also, like on top of this, they end up creating like Alpha Flight Space Station. And with the Alpha Flight Space Station, so it gives our homebound heroes a lot more reach. And especially if you can turn Alpha Flight Station into more of Sword. Let me explain. So when we have Shield deals with stuff on Earth, issues on Earth that they can take care of, but Sword deals with anything from coming from space. At the end of the day, Sword is really more to protect Earth and any issues that could have come from outside towards Earth. So it'd be really cool because we can actually get a lot of use out of Alpha Flight itself. So other than that, guys, what do you guys think? You guys think I should do more top 10s? You think I should go a little more detail? So this one was really just superhero teams. If you guys like this stuff, I'm going to try to do a whole villains groups that we could see in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But other than that, guys, I'll talk to y'all later.